Soul Garden. Live, love, be.
Good morning! From my smartphone to yours, I'm casting some serious love from the Serious Joy Garden Studios in Costa Mesa, California. And it's Friday, and there's Bella hiding, and it's Friday. Good morning and Namaste, and welcome to Namaste today. I'm your host and spiritual life coach, stepº24. My modality is psychic astrology, and my mission is to stand in my heart and help other people stand in theirs. This webisode is for Friday. Thank goddess it's Friday, January 15th, 2015. And today the Great Human Walk begins at step 24 and ends at step 25, Capricorn. Hello, my friends. So grateful to be of soul service to you. Thank you, by the way, for your comments. Thank you for showing up. I feel the love, by the way, when I read those comments on my site at soulgarden.tv. For when people are wondering, where are the comments? Because I turn them off on YouTube. That's a lot of negative energy can come through YouTube. But on Soul Garden, it's nice and peaceful. Thank you so much. I really appreciate you. I'll be releasing some cool webisodes this weekend, some more energy to angels, just so you know, and helping educate the public in this Mercury retrograde. But first, let's start with today's vibe. Today is sunny, but I argue quite serious. You know how I spell serious, like the brightest star in the sky. That's because our heart is preparing to commit. In the last 24 hours or so, your heart might have come to terms with something. Now, for me, it's coming to terms with super exciting stuff, that my life is going to be what I want it to be. And so I think this is supposed to be positive if you're in the right light. But a lot of people hold on to the old way, the way they thought it was going to be done, and they get overly serious and they start getting goofy on themselves about losing control of their life, and so it all becomes about control and it becomes negative. So this can be a very dark time for those people who really don't go with the flow and trust that Creator is going to get you what you want. But this can be a very illuminating, exciting time for those of us who know we can build in the light. But it's serious nonetheless. Now, where are our thoughts? The smart ass is at step 22. That means that our mind is willing to go back and think radically. So the mind is radical today. What we're receiving are passionate truths. We're ready with unbridled excitement to receive what will actually be our future. So we're opening up to a real dream, kind of a movie sort of esque kind of feeling. I'm not, like I said, surprised Star Wars came out at this time, because Star Wars opens up for me that like dreaming part of me that I only got during doses of Star Wars and Raiders of the Lost Ark as a kid. So I think that feeling is coming out. Now, how do we feel? We feel impatient. The moon is in Aries, so you're impatient. You want it now. You know, people are honking at green lights. That's the moon in Aries. It's there to give you strength to go forward, but it's not there to fight. And a lot of Aries take that energy. All they do is start fighting. When my little brother Aries would call, when the moon's in Aries, I wouldn't even pick up. I'd be like, no, sir, we'll wait till the moon's in Libra. Sorry. Now, Mars himself, I am, is at step 6, Scorpio. So we are acting on enforcing what's fair. We're acting on enforcing new relationships. We're acting on the boundaries of what flows. Step 6 means put the boundaries around what flows. If it always works to do the kid handoff and the divorce on Friday, and it's always easy on Friday, do it around what flows. If it's really easy to talk to your spouse about this during this time, talk to him that whatever flows, okay? That's the nature of the universe. And finally, what do we dictate? We dictate that we believe it because we said so. And that will kind of lead to what we're going to talk about in today's topic, because we said so. We'll talk about that in a minute. But first, your joy question, you choose to accept it for today and for the weekend. Get real and commit. Your joy quest is to get real and commit. And when I say get real, I mean be honest with your heart and commit. And as I always say in my private consultations with people, you don't have to tell the whole world. You don't have to tell your spouse. You don't have to tell anybody. You just got to get real with this guy here or this little girl here and commit to this right here. Once you're committed, you can take this lifetime to the next lifetime. You can take all the time you want in the world. But committing is the difference between being in your control or not. Committing to this. All right, let's move on to today's topic and give you some tips on that commitment. Today's topic is to commit or not commit, a grasshopper's dilemma. And I say grasshopper because I'm referring to people's development. And I've really understood the term grasshopper just a little sidestep here. Because, a grasshopper is an insect that's always hopping from blade to blade, never can get grounded, right? And so a grasshopper in spirituality is the same way. Can never get grounded, can never get focused. Until you can focus, you're still a grasshopper. In fact, in my Serious Story Personal Sensei service, anyone in their first year of service is a grasshopper. And then the second year, you're a praying mantis, if you want to know. So, and I developed based on that. So, to commit or not commit, that's what it comes down to. Are you going to commit to something or not? People take commitment very seriously, and I think that's due to a variety of reasons. One is I think people sometimes assume control as absolute control versus being in the right place where you're organically in control. So I think there's a lot of that. But I think also the fundament of commitment has to do with one's marriage. I've always said that when you're at the altar and you're getting married, you're really not promising to her or him. You're actually promising to yourself. You're saying, I will deal with this person. I will have sex with only this person. I will do this only. You're promising to yourself. It's not really them. You're having to make a marriage commitment that leads to a marriage commitment. Anytime you are committing out of you, you're committing into you. So commitment, it has nothing to do with the world at all. It has to do with what can I live with? How can I look in the mirror and live with myself? Am I going to be happy in this flesh experience, serious joy, or is it just going to be all serious? And we make the wrong commitments, and so that's what people are afraid of. They're afraid of being committed to the wrong thing, and so a lot of people don't commit. Well, let's make it very clear, says Sensei. You're committing to yourself, and you were already committed to yourself when you were born, and you fused your spirit with flesh. You already are in this. So get serious about it, and get serious for yourself. So one thing about manifestation is it requires consistency. What I hear in the psychic cooler, when I hear gossip in the psychic realm, all the things I've studied, is that we come down into the flesh because it is a slower and lower frequency. In heaven, as soon as you think about it, it becomes real, instantly. Okay? And we're really bad at changing our mind, aren't we? Could you imagine if we could manifest like overnight, people be manifesting pink elephants out of their butt by accident, things would be flying off the hook. So human beings are an experiment to slow down, to learn to be consistent, to learn to commit. You have to commit to the magic for it to solidify. If you want to create magic in your hands, you have to commit and you have to hold that note until it becomes solid. That's the difference of a grasshopper versus a master. A master commits and stays. Another little psychic gossip I'll share with you. I've heard from talking to angels and everything else that one of the promotions you can have after you've been incarnating on planets is to become a star. That every star in the sky was a lower life form that kept growing and growing and growing to the point where they got promoted to be able to hold an entire system. Now, what do you got to prove to God to be able to be a star, literally a star? Well, what do you prove is that you can hold a fire for 1 billion years, man, and not even stop. Just go. That's magic. That's consistency. That's commitment. Now, the only way you can commit to something like that is to know it's who you really are. Because when it's who you really are and your heart really loves it, it's a no-brainer, right? When you commit to what they want, family wants, society wants, career says you have, all these shoulds all over you, shoulding all over you about what it should be, that's when you will not be able to sustain, you will not be able to hold the note, because you will not have the fuel to go on. That sun can shine because it is ingesting itself at the core. It can't get enough of itself. It just loves itself so much to the point where it will become a black hole. That's what a Leo is, right? Leo is either aware that it is the source of its beauty, or a Leo is not aware, becomes a black hole, sucks in everyone's energy. but it's the same force. We must realize and commit to our heart and our joy, because when we commit to our heart and our joy, we have endless energy to do the duration and to stay committed to whatever we want to stay committed in the outer world. Commit to this and you can commit to anything outside of you. Commit to this and you can have a whole solar system of things orbiting around you. Don't commit to this and you're a slave to whatever you've committed to. That's what it comes down to. Now I bring this all up because this weekend you will make a commitment. You will make it during a Mercury retrograde. You will not be in your right mind. You will be in a different side of yourself. And it doesn't matter because the sun keeps moving, the earth keeps moving. And so we will move on to Aquarius, and whether or not you committed will be set in motion for manifestation, because this story is moving on. When you commit this weekend, I recommend that you commit to things that are easygoing, that come to you naturally, and that you don't have any problems embracing. So that brings us to today's 5 o'clock question. Did you ever lose something in life from giving up too soon? Did you ever lose something in your life because you gave up too soon? All right, and the follow-up for that, did you ever hold on to something too long and end up missing out as a result? Have you ever held on to something too long? And I wonder what the common denominator is of both of these, right? So for the first, I'll answer, did I ever lose something from giving up too soon? Yes, something very simple. I wish I would have kept with piano lessons. I really want to be able to sit down and play piano like a nutball at a party. Like, I really want to be that guy, and I don't have it. And I should have stuck with the piano lessons. I was just too busy. But, like, whatever. I'm not going to regret it. Yes, I can do it now, but gosh, I'm already doing so much. So it's one of those things where it's like, why didn't I stay committed? Whatever. I go back now. It's okay. I can be a piano player in my next life. But that's just one of those things. Now, did I ever hold on to something too long? Yes, every forgiven relationship I've ever been in, I held on too long. And why did I hold on too long? Well, the answer to both these questions is the same. When I was committing or not committing, I was not asking my heart. My heart wanted the piano and wanted to give up whatever was in the way of piano lessons. I should have given up whatever I was giving up for piano. I should have given up that. Was listening to my heart. In relationships, my heart was telling me the whole time, what was I in it for? Why was I staying with them? Because I was worried about them. Because I thought I was controlling the situation. But if I'm not in control here, I'm not in control there. So really, to commit or not commit comes down to a very simple equation. Can you right here? And that's all you have to ask yourself. So let's move on to today's Zen Den. And welcome to the Zen Den. If you haven't noticed, it's an extremely windy day here in Southern California, which in my experience means that human beings are doing a lot of changing. Take 3 breaths for yourself today and connect to your spirit. Bring your spirit in your day with you. That's what Holy Communion is, that you carry your spirit with you, and that way your spirit can have a voice. And all it takes really is 3 breaths each day connecting to yourself. So let's start together. And really, if you want to know why it's 3 breaths, mind, body, spirit. 3 dimensions, clear all 3 dimensions, unite them. So, today's affirmation is to help you through the weekend, and you can say it over and over to yourself. You can say it at the time of decision, you can say it at the time of commitment. It is very simple. I am able and willing to commit to my heart, and so it is. I am able and willing to commit to my heart. And so it is. I'm saying I am able. I'm saying I'm willing. I'm not saying I'm going to do it. That's really the power right there. The power to know you have it and to take it when you want it. I am able and willing to commit to my heart, and so it is. I thought so. So my friends, let's take a look at the overhead projector and the planets and what's going on for us and the week's end. Now today at press time, 11:21 a.m., the sun is at step 25. This morning it's at 24, so it's a very blissful, sunny, bright, crisp morning, very Friday happy. And then it gets kind of cloudy and introverted and introspective. That's because we're all going to get very spiritual and serious about, hey, is this the right thing? Should I really do this or whatnot? Or maybe just accepting and receiving. For those who know they're in the right place, that they're doing the right thing, a lot of it is like, I can't believe I'm finally here. I can't believe this. And that's just a settling into it, right? So Spirit will give you the guidance today that you need. Now, Mercury is, at step 22 again. That's where he was yesterday, actually. So we're getting our mind around where we belong and where our power is. This is where things get a little sticky. Venus, she's at step 20. Now, step 20 is I feel, and a 0 after a number is exposed, basically. I feel exposed. My heart's exposed to step 10. That's exposed. So everyone feels exposed. That means that a lot of times that's the feeling of, I hope I'm not a fool. I hope, the emperor with no clothes, fear. And over the weekend, that changes, but you have to know that a master has to hold the note over that feeling. Like, the sun has to keep shining when you're uncertain. You have to keep shining, okay? Keep the energy going. So that's part of us feeling exposed. The moon actually is impatient, as I said. The moon is in Aries, and this is what part of tomorrow's fun is. The moon will cross over Uranus at step 16. Now, step 16 adds to a 7, which means the universe is trying to get us to our spiritual path. That's good, right? And it comes down to what flows. 6 is what flows. So it's like whatever flows is what's meant to be. The problem is the ego, which I affectionately call the dumbass, is all about what it wants. So our emotions are fueling our ego. And the dumbass might be on the old parade, might be on the old page. I know my dumbass is always on the old page. It's always still trying to save the princess from when we were 18. It's always like, dude, we are way over that. We're trying to do this now. I'm always bringing my dumbass back to the table. So the Uranus means that your emotions are going to get really riled up probably about something as it's approaching Uranus in the next 24 hours. It gets all riled up. Now, what's it getting riled up about? It's really the intention, in my opinion, if I were to speak for God, is that I believe it's getting riled up to go ahead and make this commitment. You're trying to get yourself riled up to make this commitment, okay? But the rile up could be, when you're unaware or when you're working with young grasshoppers, the riled up can be them fighting themselves over the truth, them denying. I know Aries is at this point, this is where they go to the bar and they start drinking, denying, trying to turn off their ego to understand, to get to the truth. So this energy is meant to break through, not break down, but some people will have breakdowns because this square right here, the square between the sun, our heart, and the moon, our feelings, breaking down because they just can't accept reality. They can't accept where they're going. They can't accept what's going to happen. And so they just use the same energy to break down. This energy is there to break through. And it means facing your fears and using this emotion to be strong. And when that dumbass wants to go run, you're like, you want to run? Run this way. Run where we're going. Be strong this way. And this is where a master can refocus their energy inside of them. A grasshopper just is. They're trying to get control over it. Lastly, and I'll point out for the last time until we come back, and that is the Jupiter. And that's what my guides were talking about, was Jupiter and Neptune, actually. Basically, Jupiter is trining this whole mess here, which is what we're creating, the new rules. And so as soon as you're clear on this, we start reconstructing reality. Now, what my guides were saying is, if you build a house 3/4 of the way and then you realize you got to tear it down, the best thing to do is to get out of the house and let it happen. Okay? So what they were showing me is, if you want to master this transition, just sit there in the Namaste pose as the whole shift goes down and just let everything happen. Let the universe brush it away and bring the new stuff in. If you make a big commitment, you don't have to really worry about those details, says Jupiter, because you're going to find that they're all taken care of. But if you sweat the details and you hold on to everything and you don't, and you aren't patient with yourself, you're going to make it a really bumpy road. And that's what it has to do with. So forgive, forget, let it go, let it flow, says Neptune there, is the ultimate point. All right. So that is it for our overhead projector today. One thing, let's see. I want to do a serious tip for you for the weekend. And the serious tip is about your 1111. So if you're a subscriber of my service, you get a text every day at 11:11. Now that 11:11 text comes around 11 a.m. on the dot, actually, is your emotional tone for the day. And I give that to you so that you can understand what will happen for you emotionally, and you can counteract it. A lot of people have asked me where that comes from. Well, that emotional thing actually comes from what your sun sign is and where the moon is at that moment. But then you may get alerts just afterwards about your feelings, and that will be based on your natal chart. So the point of the 11:11 is to help you with what your emotion's going to be. And when you know what your emotions are already set to, it gives you the power to start changing them right away and moving them. So that's a cool thing. Lastly, I will say, come on down to soulgarden.tv and become a member if you haven't already. I put up little videos in the back called the Psychic Lounge, and those rooms will open up for you once you're a member. And that's just a little extra thing I do. I'm going to be releasing some cool videos soon, doing some interviews with exciting people. In fact, tomorrow, on Saturday, I will be doing a live video with someone who has this fascinating machine that can heal remotely. So he invented this machine. It's a Tesla device, and I'm going to actually do a guided hangout with him. His name is Tom, and we'll be talking to him tomorrow. So if you guys are around on YouTube, you might see it go live and watch it and be a part of it. And we'll be looking for one viewer who wants to get a free 30 days healing from this machine. So if you are a person that is having a hard time healing your body, we want to put it out to you. We're going to give you a free 30 days healing. See what you think if you just come on and tell us the before and after. So think about that. Look out for that, and I'll have that video posted over the weekend. All right, my friends. I'm feeling so good. I hope you are too. We're about to graduate this Capricorn, and we're going to chill out for a while in Aquarius. Thank Goddess. We're almost there. Capricorn can be so serious. And I'll see you back on Monday with more. Remember, I love you, and live, love, be.
So